Well, it looks like our Cuban friends are getting that. Well, the getting is good. Apparently, all the mercenary Cuban troops that have been propping up the Venezuelan regime are fleeing Venezuela to go back to the homeland of Cuba in order to oppress the Cuban people. But these guys, their days are numbered. As we know, Cuba's going to fall the same like an apple because they got no gas, they got no support, and we're blockading them in one way or the other. It's a beautiful thing. Those Cuban troops don't want to bleed from the mouth, and we wiped them out when we attacked that place. It was a great thing. They never underestimate the human American ability to have technologically. The next stop, land. No voters ID, but lots of snow. A glorious premier and the Politburo have told that voter ID is against the law and racist. But you need about five different types of ID to shovel snow. Now, the argument that they make is this, that women, when they get the vote, when they get their husband's names attached to them and they drop their original name, it's they don't have their identity anymore. What is this, 1904? Of course they do. Women have been voting, and the black people are just too stupid to get ID. That's the concept. Totally wrong. Black people can get ID. I know black people who have ID. Black people need ID. And another thing, as far as shoveling snow, why don't you think that black women and black men and white women might want to earn a few bucks shoveling snow? What is this, an underestimation of their physical prowess? Plenty of women can shovel snow. Some women should, they're doing weights, they're doing Pilates. What is going on here? No voter ID, same joke. He's a real he's a barrel of live, our glorious premier uh, mayor. He was protecting the old homeless's civil rights by not letting us tear down the tent cities. So a few 20 or 30 people froze to death. This nice. Is this a good thing? I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's a bad thing. Not that I'm a fan of the homeless. I think for the most part they're drunks, junkies, and malcontents. But to have them freeze in the cold like that, when they should put them in, and then there's the lunatics that just stay out in the cold because they think they're Eskimos. But you should put them into the lockup and get them out of the cold. It was like 30 below in the city with snow. What the hell? Mm, Israel. They're giving the boot. Israel had a factory in here that made drones to fight the terrorists, and Zumi, whatever the hell his name is, gave them the boot. They said basically you can't be in Brooklyn Naval Yard. I had no idea that the mayor of New York was so powerful to make his own little dictatorship. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, this whole thing about them being genocided against the Palestinians. Well, 3 million? Hey, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Jews don't know how to genocide properly, you're supposed to wipe them out. There should be not 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 million. Yikes. Yikes, I tell you. Well, yeah, to get into the root cause of crime. They don't want to persecute the criminal. They want to get into his brain to see what happened in his childhood, how to become a bad person. And, rehabilitation, but not no incarceration whatsoever. And also, they're going to send your little social workers into the fray. So instead of having cops going there, when they got the psycho has a machete to his mother's throat, they can have a psychologist. Sit them on the couch. Then you just have two people with beheaded people with machetes. Let me tell you something. You have a Rob Reiner situation on your hands. And the ice abuse. Some people, these coffee people, don't want to serve cops no more because they think they're ice. Well, they don't want to serve cops anyway. They don't want to have cops. A lot of these people who are doing this are actually supported by their parents. That's why they're upper middle class people. They come in the city. They get a trust fund money from their families, and they live vicariously acting like they're poor. And they're coffee jerks. Ay, ay, ay. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna have robots take care of the old people. Robots. I'm telling you, as company, they're gonna have villages made of people and robots, and the robots have, I'm looking forward to it. I want a Osama Hayek robot for myself. She's a beautiful woman. I don't agree with her in her politics, but you got to give the girl what she's got. Getting angry art. Oh, angry art. Art that's angry. And angry, I thought Biden Clinton, Biden Sutton, whatever his hell, the junkie. I thought he had angry art. But actually, it looked good to me. I have to tell you, I wouldn't pay $10,000 for it as a kickback to the president and the son, but it was not bad. You know, Minor loophole. Another one, and she's trying to make it so you can't arrest um, people who are under the age of what, 18? And they got a carte blanche for all the criminal acts they want to do. So, and you know how it is when people at the 12, 13, 14, these guys go through the growth spurt. Now, myself, I'm a law and order man. I believe that carjackers should be executed on the spot. It's like a horse thief, like years ago. And I believe shoplifters, the guy who has the store should be able to take out a shotgun and blow their heads off. That's what I believe. Because I never shoplifted, nor did I ever carjack. It would be impractical because I don't know how to drive. Uh, yeah, what's this? Well, you know what happened? They're saying Putin is bribing. And we should just throw him out of Ukraine. Look, the Ukrainians, I got to give them credit, and I was wrong. I thought the Ukrainians was full. They thought they could not stand up to the Russian hordes, the Russian power. But for 4 years, they've been doing an epic battle, and they're starting to win. Maybe they'll march on Moscow. Minnesota. The governor doesn't like memes because they're making fun of her. She's Frost face, Hartshot, whatever the hell her name is. Ah, damn her. They ain't got you. You know what they're doing? They're taking these old folks like Liza Minnelli, and they're humiliating them. They're just taking them and put them in the stage. Now, Liza was a great talent, a beautiful woman, but it took after Judy too much. Ay, ay, ay. No, 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 movement. Oh, there's a pro North Korean peace movement. In other words, and they have the North Koreans are the good guys. I'm going to tell you something. I thought it could not get even murkier in North Korea. See, the fat kid who rules North Korea, his sister, beautiful girl. And when he finally his arteries got frozen, he drops dead. Then the sister would get it. But like, get this, I just found out the guy has a daughter. The fat Kim Jong-un of North Korea has a daughter, and he's going to leave her with the power. Leave her with the power. And his sister brush her aside. And when they brush each other aside, you usually end up in shot at best. Time to puck her up. Ah, yeah. The women are going crazy over our hockey team. Why not? These guys deserve all the kisses they can get. All the kisses they can get. Yeah. No, that's what's so. The North Koreans won't bow. And not the Iranians. Iranians, they can't do much at this time. What we should do is, you just bomb the shit out of them, of where the guys who are running the place, the Ayatollahs, are living. And just bunker busters, and that'll be the end of them. And once they have the Hydra's head is gone, the rest will melt. The final straw. Yeah, we've taken too many straws. But I think the final straw is when, We're going to invade Iran just on the airspace. We don't have to invade on the ground. Yeah, Bubba's in hot water. They found him in a jacuzzi with an underage girl on Epstein Island. But the more do you have to know? The more you know, the more you get sickened. All's fair in love and war. Oh my God. He's blackmailing upstate New York and holding us in the city hostage. So upstate will just say screw it. And he'll jack up the real estate things and he'll destroy the middle class and the working class in the city. Judge asked, "Hey, my man is getting rid of Biden judges. He's getting rid of, and he should, because they're totally compromised. The communists, smoke and mirrors. That was the government in New Jersey gave us all that. She fooled us. She's military, but I think she's military. She was at West Point. She cheated on her exams. Ay, ay, ay. And she shouldn't be in charge of things. Women should be in charge of the National Sewing League. That would be more their way. Look at this. Enrod. Smoke and mirrors. Art of the Steel. Talking about the Somalians. Somalians, maybe we're too hard. You got people from one of the hottest places in Africa. We're going to put them in Minnesota. It's just a cold and cold and cold and place. And then the Minnesotans see the black guy, and they're going, what the hell is that? And the black guy's going, well, these people look at me like that. Yes, because you're different. You were talking back to them. I talk back to everybody. Yeah. Anyway, auto steal. I feel sorry for the Somalians. What were they going to do? You put them in this freezing place. What is the church doing? Put them in the freezing place. It's purgatory for a Somalian. So they turned into a life of crime. And boy, did they ever. Oh, that's it. Out of the stuff. And we're gonna shut this guy down. Yeah, there we go. Papa was in the picture. Not sure if I will. I'm remembering this all this time. Oh, mm, this. That's stuff. Oh, it's the first. Yeah, wait, we stop it. Okay, here we go. And then meaningful. Oh, goodbye, guys.